If you catch this giant soft-shell turtle in the river, don't rush to release it. You might as well braise it instead. Don't think this is a trick to fool you into a trap. With its hefty body, this wild giant soft-shell turtle has enjoyed the level of protection afforded to rare animals. However, it's an unequivocal invasive species, and it might even be a young female. It's just that its size is a little larger than usual. This is the Florida soft-shell turtle. Due to the granular protrusions on its back, it has earned the charming nickname pearl turtle in China. But whether you look horizontally or vertically, its meat lumps don't resemble pearls in the slightest. It's baffling how it got associated with that name. You might not realize it, but this 10-kilogram female turtle is just over 3 years old. Every spring, when the water temperature exceeds 20 degrees Celsius for an extended period, the breeding duties of the parent turtles are scheduled. Workers typically place the turtles in ponds at a male-to-female ratio of 1 to 3. Determining the gender of the breeding turtles is straightforward. When a male and female are placed together, the smaller one is almost certainly the male, as female turtles need larger bodies to produce more eggs. When the same batch of turtles hits the market, males are generally pricier than females. After all, good things come in small packages. The meat of male turtles tends to be firmer. Of course, there are exceptions, and when in doubt, look at the tail. A short and thick tail usually indicates a female. Selecting breeding turtles doesn't require much. Besides being at least 3 years old, the main criteria are no defects and a standard body shape. These breeding turtles will stay in their designated area for 3 to 4 months. During this time, workers don't need to intervene much. Just provide the female turtles with nests made of mud or sand along the shore. Of course, the turtles enjoy some perks for their efforts. As the top-tier residents of the breeding facility, the turtles are treated to lavish meals during their breeding period. In addition to pellet feed, they also get to feast on fish meat, pure and unadulterated. With this nutritious diet, the female turtles quickly enter their reproductive phase. To help them return to their nests smoothly, thoughtful workers build little slides nearby. Typically, the female turtles place their precious eggs in moist, loose soil. After mating, the cautious females will wait until dusk, stealthily peeking around to ensure no one is watching. Only then, under the evening glow, will they find a safe spot to lay their eggs. Despite their massive size, pearl turtles are timid creatures. At the slightest disturbance, they'll retreat into their shells. To encourage the females to lay more eggs, it's best to leave them undisturbed. Just as the female turtle finishes her night's work and leaves, the workers arrive with baskets in hand, ready to collect the fruits of her labor from the previous day. By following the tracks left by the female turtle as she crawled, workers can roughly pinpoint the location of her eggs. Digging through the sand, they soon uncover small ping-pong ball-sized eggs. A female pearl turtle lays 10 to 30 eggs at a time, depending on her size and age. However, her annual egg production far exceeds this amount. During the breeding season, she can lay eggs 4 to 5 times, producing over 100 eggs in a good year. As the saying goes, turtles live for 1,000 years, tortoises for 10,000. True to this, the pearl turtle has an impressive lifespan. In breeding farms, they easily live for 50 to 70 years. A single female turtle's productive period can last decades, potentially long enough to outlive the farm itself, with no problem laying eggs for 30 to 40 years. If you come across these round eggs in fields or near rivers, it indicates the presence of turtles nearby. Searching around might yield a chance at a wild delicacy. If not, you could choose to collect the eggs like these workers. However, instead of cooking them, you're meant to incubate them. Turtle eggs differ from chicken eggs. When boiled, soft-shell turtle eggs become sticky, resembling thick mucus, with a slightly fishy taste. During the breeding season, the farm can harvest several buckets of turtle eggs daily. This serves as the foundation of the farm's operation. Workers lay soft, moist sand at the bottom of the incubation box, remove any bad or unfertilized eggs, and place the fertilized eggs flat on the sand with the embryo side facing up. Each healthy turtle egg contains a visible lifeline. These eggs, half white and half yellow at first glance, might look spoiled, but this appearance is a sign of fertilization. The workers then cover the eggs with a layer of damp sand, giving them the sensation of being back in their natural nesting grounds. But won't such a thick layer of sand suffocate them? Not at all. Every step in the farm's process is carefully planned. The loose, breathable sand, combined with special air vents in the incubation boxes, ensure sufficient airflow. In fact, workers worry more about keeping the eggs warm enough. In the wild, pearl turtles lay eggs during warm seasons, relying on natural heat to improve hatch rates. Incubating turtle eggs requires precise control of temperature and humidity. Workers cover the incubation boxes to prevent moisture loss and protect against rodents. They inspect the sand every 3 days, spraying water if it's too dry to maintain humidity at around 80%. If the weather turns cold, Heaters are used to increase the temperature. If it gets too hot, ventilation is employed to cool things down. The ideal temperature for incubation is about 30 degrees Celsius 86 degrees Fahrenheit. After about 50 days of incubation, movement starts to stir in the room. Little turtles begin breaking through their shells and crawling out. With the workers' care, these hatchlings make their first steps into the world. More than 90% of soft-shelled turtle eggs can successfully transform into baby turtles. This is a miracle that cannot be achieved under natural conditions. Workers collect the newly hatched baby soft-shelled turtles and place them in water basins for breeding. They are fed daily, and after about 7 days in a clean water environment, the baby turtles gradually adapt to independent life and can move to the breeding pool. Before that, workers need to decorate their new home. Soft-shelled turtles are naturally timid, so in order to help them grow in peace, workers must place fiber and aquatic plants in the pool to provide them with shelter. In the breeding farm, all animals spend their childhood in the best conditions. During this stage, workers not only care about their well-being, but also provide them with material benefits. They only need to eat and drink well, and sunbathe when they have time. Of course, this is not out of kindness, but to lay the foundation for a good harvest and to develop a strong physique. The workers grind fish meat into fish paste and feed them twice a day. Regular water changes ensure a good water environment, as newly hatched turtles have high demands on water quality. They prefer water with a pH between 7 to 8.5, a dissolved oxygen level of 5 mg per liter, an ammonia nitrogen content not exceeding 0.2 mg per liter, and an acidic salt content not exceeding 0.1 mg per liter. Adequate aquatic plants are also planted, creating a cozy home for the baby turtles, and water purifiers are installed. Under this all-encompassing, thorough care, the baby turtles grow quickly. After about 2 months, the small cement pool can no longer accommodate them. It's time to move them to the outer pond to explore a bigger world. 1,000 baby pearl turtles are placed in the mud pond, and after a year, they will be ready for harvest. Workers drain the water from the breeding pool, scoop out half a bag of turtle larvae, disinfect them with potassium permanganate, and transfer them to the treated outer pond. Aside from a slightly poorer diet, their lives here are not much different from the early stages. Compared to other aquatic farming soft-shelled turtles is a bit easier. After all, the long lifespan of the turtles creates strong vitality. Additionally, pearl turtles share similar living conditions with the common Chinese soft-shelled turtle. To prevent them from escaping and disrupting the local ecosystem, the ponds for farming pearl turtles must be either cemented or netted to prevent their escape. Workers feed the pearl turtles twice a day, giving them 4% of their body weight in food, both in the morning and evening. Like the Chinese soft-shelled turtle, the pearl turtle is an omnivore, preferring meat. In the wild, they catch whatever they can, including fish and insects. Older, larger pearl turtles may occasionally hunt in the wild, taking advantage of the local water conditions to feed. Is the meat of soft-shelled turtle tasty? In addition to considering their age, it also depends on what they eat. Meat that is entirely based on feed conversion tends to be soft and lacks toughness. Most soft-shelled turtles on the market, which are even cheaper than pork, are usually fast-grown products raised on feed. To fetch a good price, you have to feed the pearl turtles something better. Besides 2 meals of non-spicy feed, workers occasionally provide low-cost small fish, which are ground into fish paste by machines to supplement their diet. Compared to tasteless feed, these sticky, mushy mixtures are very enticing. As soon as they are placed in the feeding station, the turtles, which were just huddling at the bottom of the pool a minute ago, immediately pop up to the surface to gobble up the food. Besides food affecting their appetite, the weather also plays a role. Pearl turtles prefer warmer environments. When the water temperature is between 25 to 30 degrees Celsius, their appetite is at its best. Between 15 to 25 degrees Celsius, their food intake is reduced to 1/3. If the temperature stays below 15 degrees Celsius for an extended period, they will go into a fasting state and hibernate. In some regions, to ensure they put on weight during what should be their hibernation period, once the temperature drops, workers will remove them from the ponds and put them in heated sheds or directly cover the ponds with a shelter, sometimes installing heating equipment if necessary. After all, only continuous eating can greatly improve farming efficiency. By March or April of the following year, when the water temperature stabilizes above 20 degrees Celsius, workers will release them back into the ponds. Compared to other economically intensive aquaculture practices, pearl turtles farmed in the outer ponds grow much faster and have stronger adaptability. In just 1 year, they can reach a weight of 2 pounds. At this point, they are still considered baby turtles, and workers don't yet sell them. Generally, they are allowed to leave the farm and be sold at the market only after reaching 3 years old. At that time, female turtles weigh around 10 pounds, and males weigh about 5 to 6 pounds. Workers dig them out of the mud, clean them, and send them directly to the market. Although pearl turtles can grow quite large and have a high yield of meat, They are much cheaper than local soft-shell turtles. As for the taste, it mainly depends on the farming environment. Thank you for watching. See you next time.